Hey, and welcome back to our writing videos for this term. Last video, we talked about the role of the narrator in a story, having a first person narrator who tells the story from their perspective, having a third person limited who can mainly read the mind of the main character, or third person omniscient who can tell the stories of everybody and knows what everybody's thinking in the whole world. What I want to do today is I want to talk about how to utilize the idea of a first person perspective, but to tell the same story, but from multiple different people's perspective. So if you had an event, I don't know, what can be something pretty basic, right? And then everyone who's involved gets to tell their side of the story as well. It's quite good and it's quite interesting. And I think you might learn something in your own life about the idea of sometimes when people react to things, if you understood what has happened in their life to make them react to that, that might give you a little bit more compassion for them. So that's what we want to do as writers. We want to make sure that we provide a way to explain and justify all those characters' actions and maybe why they are the way they are. It's always a good way to do it. So we're going to be looking at that today, taking a pretty basic scenario and then saying, what if everybody got in the room got to tell their own side of the story? When we're talking about multiple perspectives, the one reason I like to show this is just to show that everybody has a different view on the world. So how two people might look at the same thing and see something completely different. Now, you probably have seen this. Now, I don't actually know how you've seen it. My first vision is that I see a duck. I see the eyes here, and then I see the bill up on the side. But some of you see a rabbit and you see the mouth here and the eyes there, and then the ears the other way. Looking at things from two ways, you can either see a duck or a rabbit. The picture doesn't change, but sometimes just the way you look at the world or the way you look at something can alter the way that you react to it. So in stories, this is, if you remember when we read Wonder, some of the stories being told from Augie's point of view, and then it gets told from his sister's point of view, and then different people are telling different parts of the same story. They're seeing the same actions, but they're saying how they react to those same events. When we take the true story of the three pigs, that story is now the three pigs, but now this is his point of view. This is the wolf saying what he believes happened and how it happened in his head. And up the top, we have Maleficent, which is from the villain from Sleeping Beauty. And there's a movie that came out a few years ago in which it's from her point of view, how those events went down in her point of view. So I think then that's hopefully gives us an idea of, I think sometimes that we can get a lot more meaning out of it if we hear multiple people's perspectives. So what I want you to do is take a pretty ordinary scenario. It could be pretty basic. I don't want anything. It could be just you getting up in the morning, going out and have breakfast and something happens, really basic. And you can even kind of, I guess, go off a bit of mine. I'm going to show you one that I just made this morning. And the one I made is a boy called Jack. And it's his birthday and he's so excited to see everyone at school. And he's going to school. He's got cupcakes for everyone. He's so excited. And he's walking into class and he gets into class and he sees his best friend, Sam. And he goes up to Sam. But Sam, if we look at Sam's profile, I made a little profile for each of these people. Sam's upset because he found out that he's moving schools away from his friend. And they'd always planned to go through primary school, high school together. They were best friends forever. And they have to move interstate. And he knows that's going to shatter him and his friend. And they're going to be devastated. Our third character, the teacher, Mr. West, he had a horrible night's sleep because his kids kept him up all night and he is so tired. So tired. I can't relate to that at all. So everything he does is based around the idea he's super tired. And then we just thought we'd throw in someone else. There's a pet frog, sits in a tank, Frida the frog. And at some point, she's just hanging out. She's just a frog enjoying her life, just having fun. Her tank's going to get broken. But then we're going to tell the story from like what that whole situation looks like, just from her perspective sitting in the tank. We're only going to tell two sides of the story today. So let's tell Jack's side of the story. Now I wrote it down. It's not very long. It doesn't need to be long. All right. So this is Jack's point of view. Ready? I bounced along the path up to the classroom. I was so excited to share my birthday with my class. I had my whole bag of cupcakes and lolly bags. I flung open the door and ran up to my best friend, Sam. Guess what? I yelled excitedly. Please go away, he replied. I could see something was wrong, so I reached into my bag to pull a cupcake and give it to him. As I reached the cupcake to his face, he said, I said, go away. I was so angry that he was so mean to me on my birthday that I pushed him. He fell over the back of his chair and broke the tank for our class pet frog, Frida. Class pet frog called Frida. Just then, Mr. West came storming over and demanding an explanation. His eyes were terrifying and was so angry that Sam had ruined and I was so angry that Sam had ruined my birthday. Perfect. So we're seeing just Jack's point of view. All he's seeing is what he sees. He doesn't know what the other people are thinking. He's just going through his thing. Now we're going to switch it over. Now Sam's just found out that he has to move interstate. So everything that he does and he acts on is just that. He can't know that Jack's excited for his birthday because he's so focused on what he's doing. So let's read his side of the story. As I slowly dragged my feet towards the class, I wasn't sure how I was going to tell my friends that we were moving. We had said for years that we were going to go to high school together and be best friends forever. Now Dad was making us move interstate. I tried really hard not to cry as I sat down on my chair. Suddenly, my best friend Jack walks in the room. I had no idea what I was going to say to him, but I really didn't want to deal with it now just before class. As he stormed up to me, he screamed, "Guess what?" I told him to go away. I even said, "Please." I just wanted to wait till recess, but he didn't listen. He tried to shove something up to my face and I snapped. I pushed him away. I really shouldn't have, but I wasn't thinking straight. The next thing I know, he pushed me and I fell over the back and broke the tank of our pet Frida the frog. As I saw Mr. West storming over, I knew this day couldn't get any worse. Now, both of their actions in their own mind are going to be justified because they know what they're going through. One feels like his friend isn't showing him the excitement of his birthday. The other one's going through a lot and is just trying to get through the day, and his friend just won't get out of his face. Now, at the moment, I'm only going to get you to tell a story from two perspectives. So I want you to have two people getting into some scenario. Could be an argument, could be some sort of, they witness something together. Could be you and your sister going out, getting some argument at the dinner table. I don't care what it is, but make them have a backstory of what's caused them to do that. And I don't want the other character to know that. All right. So like I said, if you want to keep it, like if you get writer's block, which I totally get, keep it in the classroom. Keep it in the classroom and have it based on something, an event that happens in class. So, and then give them backstories and stuff like that. But I want a story. It doesn't need to be long. Only maybe half a page for each of these people. Half a page for one person, half a page for the other person. Both of them in first person perspective, telling their side of the story. Okay. I think it should be really good exercise. I think it would, it's not a bad idea of how to tell a story is to just go around and going, this is how they all felt about the same thing. All right. Brainstorm some ideas before you start. Don't just start straight away. Brainstorm some ideas of what it could be. Could be, I don't know. I don't give you ideas. So I hope that's been helpful. Because then, like I said, you could go through Mr. West's perspective and then the frog's perspective. We're not going to do that today. We're just going to stick to those two people. So they're the only two people that I need you to do it on. And I hope that's been useful and good luck doing it. Thank you.